King, and welcome to this live stream, the first in my new house, and I can't wait. This is going to be a lot of fun. So welcome everyone. I hope you are all doing well, enjoying the sun if you've had some sun in your area. So let's have a quick look in the chat box and see who is with us. We have M Brown 1776, welcome, and he starts off with a Necrons, which is always good to see. So I suppose first of all we better do a little bit of a sound check. I've got my new microphone system plugged in. How is the sound? And also, how is the picture? Can you see me okay? Let me know in the little chat box there. We have Joe Robertson, says Nick speaking. Hello Joe, welcome to the live stream. And in this live stream I am going to run over the Combat Patrol Box, which has obviously recently been released for Necrons. We're going to analyse what's in there, the cost, the savings, how to expand it, etc. So it should be fun. I'm also going to have just a general chit chat as well. Okay, so let's see. Sound is good, excellent. The light seems very bright on my screen, but we'll just run with it for now. So, yeah, what have I been doing? Let's start off with that. So, of course, I've moved into the new house with my girlfriend and my daughter, and we're all settled in. All the boxes are unpacked, and yeah, it's been really good. And this is a nice new fresh start for us, and alongside that I'm also trying to keep a bit fitter because we have a little swimming pool and a gym attached to the premises. Well, not attached, but like a little private pool, etc. So I'm going swimming and to the gym a lot more, so hopefully I'll get some muscles, or at least maybe trim down the stomach a little. Oh yeah, looks good, sounds good. Okay, excellent. That is good. I've got the curtains in the background here, which once pulled open gives you a fantastic view of the marina, but difficult to get the lighting correct. Maybe one day. So yeah, hobby-wise, what have I been doing hobby? So of course I've got the new anniversary Cryptek, which I made a video about. Actually, I bought 3 of those. Well, I ordered another 2. I got one in the store and ordered another 2. One for me to convert, and the other one I'm going to give it away on the channel. However, I think I'm going to give it away in my membership section of the channel. So if you'd like to become a member at some point in the future, there will be a giveaway in my membership group. So yeah, if you want to learn more about that, just press the join button. You can for an immortal body in honor of the new patrol box. Sounds good. We have Martin Falstrup in the chat. He says, looks good, Nick. Can't join due to work, but just wanted to congratulate you on the move. Thank you very much, Martin. Always appreciate you popping in. So alongside that, of course, we've had the release of the Chronomancer, which I keep calling Technomancer for some reason, but the Chronomancer, we've had that released, and I have an unboxing and build video coming on Monday next week. And I bought 2 of those because, well, I think Chronomancers are pretty useful, and it obviously gives me an opportunity to build one normally and then to convert one. So yeah, I've been working on the Chronomancers. And what else have I been doing? I've been painting. And actually, I had a bit of a disaster with my painting. Let me explain in a second. So we've got 27 people watching. Hello, everyone. Excuse me while I have a little sip of my coffee. We have 21 likes. Awesome amount of likes. Thank you. Also have an introduction. You've probably seen me advertising this quite a bit. But I have my button. Not only do I have this button though, I have this button here. So what activates these buttons? The green one, that's activated when someone becomes a member during the live stream, and the pink one is activated when I get a super chat. So we'll see if they ever get activated. Hopefully so. Just a little fun thing, that I thought would be, well, fun. So yeah, my disaster. So the very first video that I made in the new house, which you've already seen, that was on the Doom Scythe. I recorded that video, and I had a few issues. My microphone was all crackly, and I thought it was the microphone lead. So I ordered a new lead, and I recorded that video on two cameras, and I put the soundtrack from one camera and the video footage from another camera together, because I had to have one camera close and one far away. My lead came and I tested it. No crackly noise whatsoever. So I set up all of my cameras to make a painting tutorial for my Doomstalkers, and I've got cracking with that. And then the first day of recording, when I checked it back, I had some crackling noises again. I worked out that I've been putting my microphone in a different place to usual rather than on a tripod. I was trying to be clever, and I put it on my lighting stand, and I think I was getting feedback. So the lead wasn't faulty at all. However, it meant that my video was ruined. So I thought, that's okay, I'll do a voiceover of the painter tutorial. Rather than talking live, I just voice it over. Anyway, that didn't quite work out, because the next painting session I picked up the wrong colour and painted my miniatures in the wrong colour. Realised afterwards, and it was too late. So I abandoned the whole thing, had to respray the models black and redo the painting tutorial. However, I got a bit inspired by the error that happened, and this tutorial I am going to try doing a voiceover rather than talking whilst I paint. So we'll see how it comes out. I'm halfway through making that video. So yeah, that was a bit of a disaster, but hopefully it's all rescued. Okay, let's have a look. I'll catch it later though, says Martin. Thank you, I appreciate that. We have prayers to the dice guards, and he says, hi, hello there. John Wilkinson, no more random lawnmowers in the new place, not at all. Although right next to me, literally there, is a guinea pig who likes to squeak when he's hungry. So yeah. Waiting for some random seagull. Oh, it will happen. It will happen. Especially if I record on the balcony. So that's been my hobby. Obviously, we've had the release of Chapter approved as well, which I did buy. £25. After I bought it, I read it. I thought, what a waste of money that was. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, really. You don't really get a great deal in there. I mean, okay, you've got all the rules maybe consolidated for now in one place, but we know it's not going to last very long. But in terms of point changes, obviously for the Necrons, the biggest winner, of course, the Doomsday arc. So that was good to see. And of course, the Locust destroyers and heavy destroyers coming down in points are still not convinced on how much I'm going to use them at the moment, but it's good to see some points drops there. And obviously we had some increases on the command barge, the Nightbringer, the Chronomancer, I think went up 10 points with the Lance. And what else have I got written down? Of course, the Immortals, which basically you get Tesla now for the same price as Gauss, but you're still going to take Gauss. So that was a waste of time. Steva Dislike says, the Combat Patrol Box is kind of meh at present. Immortals just plainly don't get enough synergy with our mostly overcosted HQ units. Well, we'll talk more about that in a minute, because we're definitely going to discuss the Patrol Box in a second. So yeah, that's it really. So like I said, moved in, I've been doing some hobby, I've been finding my feet with the videos. My first live stream now, I've been making some shorts as well. My ultimate goal is to have one full video on a Monday, and then a short video either on a Thursday or a Saturday. and then as many live streams as I can do, maybe once a month, once every 2 weeks, or maybe once a week, depending on the circumstances. I don't think it's something I'll be buying. Well, I won't be buying it, but then I'm a player with lots of miniatures. It doesn't necessarily need it. But I think from certain points of views, it's going to be worth having a look at. Heavy destroyers are still way too expensive. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So let's have a look at the Combat Patrol Box. I've got obviously a few notes. I have a printout of, you can see this or not. I'm using a mirror so I can actually see my camera. But there you go, printout. So first of all, let's have a look. So buying this patrol box from Games Workshop direct with no discount, it is priced at £85, which is a decent amount of money. And in the box, we get an Overlord. Now, the Overlord by itself, again, direct from Games Workshop, is £17.50 if you just bought one by itself. And it's the plastic Overlord, the Overlord which came out when they replaced the Finecast one a few years ago. It's a pretty cool one with the Warsaw, and I like it. I actually only own one of those, so I would be happy to have another one. I did have a comment saying, well, how come it hasn't got the Indomitus Overlord on there, because that's a newer model. But of course, that Overlord has the tachyon arrow, and I think probably what they're trying to do is get away from Indomitus units in this set, so that people that have bought the Indomitus sets can buy this set and bolt it onto Indomitus. So I think that's obviously why they've done it. You then get 10 Immortals stroke Deathmark. So basically 2 boxes of 5. And that would make those models there £50 if you bought 2 boxes of 5. So that's a reasonable amount of cost already. We're at £65. Sorry, £67.50 before we even get onto the rest of the units. Now, obviously, someone said Immortals don't really synergize with the army that much, and I know obviously Warriors at the moment are the rage, but I think there's definitely a place for Immortals. Actually, I used 3 units of 5 in my monolith list, and they performed pretty well. I mean, they do what they have to do. You know, they are toughness 5, which is very useful. And only 1 wound, but that's good because that helps with the RP, helps to bring them back. And they've got a very nice weapon, obviously the Gauss blasters, although you of course could arm them with Tesla if you wanted to. So certainly, I don't think it's a bad choice, but more importantly, of course, you don't get Immortals in the Indomitus box set, which I think primarily this is aimed for and bolt on to that set. So yeah, I'm quite happy to see Immortals in there. Now, of course, you could build them as death marks if you wish. So if you had enough troops and you just don't want any more Immortals, and you don't have death marks or enough death marks, then you can build them as death marks as well. Although you do have a few alternatives with this kit, because you could build these miniatures as Immortals and still have the death marks, arms, guns left over, and then you could potentially kit bash either maybe some old warriors. Maybe you had some old warriors, you could just take the arms off and put these guns on. Alternatively, you could go to a third-party company like Wargames Exclusive, who actually do some special miniatures designed to make use of the Deathmark's gun, so you can actually put them onto the miniatures. I'm not 100% sure I like them. I know a lot of people do. They've got like cloaks, like I suppose you could say camo cloaks, but I don't know. That for me, it's not very Necron-ish, but I know a lot of people like them. But it's certainly an alternative. And Wargames Exclusive sell 5 of those bodies, and they are resin, but high quality resin. They're not fine cast quality. I've got Wargaming exclusive models, and they are fantastic. Really, really good quality. I definitely would recommend them. It's £21.50 for 5 of these bodies, so it would cost you £43 if you went this route with the Wargames exclusive, but you could buy those, make 10 death marks and have 10 Immortals. And death marks are pretty good in 9th edition. The box is quite great in my opinion, especially the Immortals. Bit ishy on them honestly, so like their Assault 2 Gauze Blasters, since that's 36-inch, is nice. Prefer good old Silvertide flavour. Same people make the female Necrons, right? Yes, Wargames exclusive, they make all the female Necrons. They do female warrior bodies, so you can adapt them to your warriors. They make these death marks adapters, and they make a lot of characters, which are pretty cool. Got quite a few of them myself. Okay, so going down the list, we then get 3 Tomb Blades. And Tomb Blades are pretty good. Obviously, they would come with the 3 different weapon options and all the war gear options. And I've made a tutorial on how you can magnetize this particular unit. So you can choose any of the gun options and any of the war gear options that you like. Of course, you could just glue them if you were to glue them. I think at the moment the Gauss weapons are the ones to go for. Now Tomb Blades are £30 for 3. 3 probably isn't quite enough. I mean, it's still, they are playable, but especially in the bigger games, you're probably going to want bigger units, 5 or 6 of those. But it's still, you know, a good solid unit to have in this box set. And lastly, we've got a Doom Scythe, which is £37.50 if you bought one separately now. I was quite surprised by that price actually. I think when I had mine it was like £30. Now the Doom Scythe of course can be a Night Scythe as well, and you don't even have to magnetize it. So the little portal stroke gun literally just pushes in, so you can build both of them and just push them in depending on which one you want. So the dual kit making this kit incredibly good value for money. The Doom Scythe is probably, well, as I said, I've made a video on the Doom Scythe. I mean, it's definitely playable, but it's not necessarily the most competitive unit in the codex. The Night Scythe I will be making a video on in the not too distant future. That is my plan. But the Night Scythe, again, it's playable. It's very playable. So the total amount, if you bought all of those separately, is £135. So you are actually saving £50 on this box set. 40 is what I'm expecting them to end up as near the end of 9th. Cycle, perhaps, okay. Sorry, I'm not quite sure what that is. It's probably a halfway through a conversation. It's the new Combat Patrol Box. Yes, this is the new Combat Patrol Box that we're talking about. So, yeah, it's a good saving, isn't it? But is it worth having? Well, like I said, from my point of view, as I've got pretty much all of these models anyway, I have no need for this box set. But if you had Indomitus, I think this is a fantastic set, a bolt-on set, mainly because it just has all the units which you just don't have already, effectively. So I think it's a definite tick to bolt on to Indomitus. But is it worth having as a standalone kit? We're ticking all the boxes, that's for sure. I mean, you've got your HQ, you've got obviously the Immortals, not necessarily enough for a battalion, but you're nearly there. And then some fast attack, and potentially you could say you've got some anti-tank, anti-monstrous creature sort of units there with the Doom Scythe. I mean, that little set comes in at just under 600 points. And what's my computer doing? No, I do not want that to pop up. You can go away. Right. So yeah, just under 600 points. Enough to get you going. So if you were to walk into Games Workshop and wanted to start Necrons, yeah, I mean it would be a reasonable place to start. You're probably going to need some more troops for it. So I'd look at getting some warriors, and if you're going to get the warriors, then I'm trying to think now what it's called, the little box set. What's it called, guys? Can't remember what it's called, but don't just buy a box of warriors, get the little starter set. Someone will tell me what it's called in a second. The Knight Scythe synergy with Immortals or Necron Warriors. Well, probably Warriors, although you have other options with the Knight Scythe. Recruit, yeah, I think it's the recruit set, command set, one of them. But yeah, buy that. So, how do we expand this box set? Let's say we go in, we buy this. This is our set. The Overlord gives us a HQ. We are going to need more HQs, at least one more. A Cryptek is the way to go, I think. For a bolt-on HQ, either the Chronomancer or Technomancer probably is going to be the unit of choice. You could go for a command barge as well if you wanted to keep that Overlord abilities. So again, command barge or Crypteks probably for your HQ choices. For troops, I definitely would get some warriors to complement this set. Not that I don't think Immortals are playable, but I think it would be nice to have a mixture. Necron Royal Court, especially the Scorpek Lord. Yeah, you could go for a Scorpek Lord as well. When there's quite a few, obviously, directions that you could go. But I think a Cryptek and an Overlord, I think you need that in your kit, in your tool bag, to call upon at any time that you wish for a particular list. At the moment, the Chronomancer list is the way to go. Yeah, I'm liking the Chronomancer. Hey Nick, is there an online shop where I can buy bits for my Necrons? I have so much weaponry laying around, and I lack bodies and legs. Well, you could try Wargames exclusive. Finding that really it's mainly probably just second hand, like eBay and stuff. Don't think there's that many shops that will just sell the bodies. So Annihilation Barge. Well, of course, if you went for a command barge, you could easily have an Annihilation Barge as well, because that's an easy magnetizing solution. Okay, so yeah, warriors to add on to your troops. Ideally, you want to get in a position where you've got 3 lots of troops so that you can unlock a battalion. Oh, I was hoping for official parts. Okay, well, there are some online sites like what they called Bitsbox. That's a UK company, but Bitsbox. I'm sure the guys in the chat will give you some heads up. What country are you from? Either Doomstalkers or Void Dragon need that anti-vehicle. So, the Tomb Blades, I would definitely get some more Tomb Blades. 3 more Tomb Blades, just to bring you up to a unit of 6. And then, as the guys have been saying here, you're going to need some anti-tank stroke monstrous creature stuff. Whilst a Doom Scythe has the potential to be that unit, I think ideally you're going to want Doomsday Arcs and or Doom Stalkers, depending on your preference. 3rd edition player returning in the last few months picked up some destroyers, thinking they'd not be updated to lose the green rods yet. Much to my dismay, grey rods. Yes, yeah, I heard that they were just doing plain like plastic grey rods for those models. Currently trying the Annihilation Barge, Command Barge, as my first magnet project after watching a video. Need to order some smaller magnets. Yeah, it's a pretty easy one. So yeah, 2mm magnets. There are some good eBay bits sellers, but the US to UK postage is really high and off-putting. Yeah, postage is a killer, isn't it? Especially now with the Brexit thing that's happening. So, hopefully you're enjoying the live stream. If you are new to the channel, my name's Nick, and my channel is all about Necrons and more. You have the facility to subscribe, and if you haven't already, then please do so. And also, you can join the channel where I have some extra perks. You can join for as little as 99p, and if you do join, I'll get to press the green button. Failing that, if you'd like to just make a one-off donation, activating the pink button, then please give me a super chat. That would be cool. Right, back to the chat. You're why my first army was Necrons. Awesome, Necrons. Yeah, we've done that bit. Okay, so let's have a look. Now, I was actually looking at this set, and I was thinking that if you're in a position you don't have many miniatures, is it worth buying 2 of these sets? Because it's quite a big saving, £50 per set. I think it probably would be actually, because 2 overlords, no trouble. You can convert 1 overlord if you want to. That would give you 20 immortals with the possibility of having death marks, so you could have 10 death marks and 10 immortals, or maybe you could have 15 immortals, giving you your 3 units of 3 to make the battalion. That gives you then 5 death marks. Doable. That would give you your 6 tomb blades, which I think is a good number of tomb blades to have. It would give you 2 doom scythes, but bearing in mind these can be used as night scythes. And whilst okay at the moment, maybe they're not the most competitive unit, things change. And you know, having a couple of doom scythes in your army bag isn't going to be a bad thing. Even if you don't use them now, you would probably use them sometime in the future. So I actually think that it's probably worth buying 2 of these, which surprised me, because when I first saw it, I thought £85, that's quite an investment. But if you actually look closely at that, if you don't have all the models already, like I do, then yeah, I think 2 of them actually is pretty decent. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. I have some long rods on the way from Spain. Worry not. Okay, let's go. Having 2 doom scythes for the background of your army will look pretty cool too, though. Yeah, I mean, doom scythes do look pretty cool. And as I said, they are playable. If you had 2 of them, there's no reason why you couldn't fit them in a list, but you wouldn't necessarily be taking them to like a competitive tournament. But I'm sure your buddies will enjoy playing against them. So, let's see if I've got anything else on my notes. I think I've sort of covered this, but we'll talk about it in a bit more detail. Expanding Indomitus. I mean, a lot of people have Indomitus. I think it's pretty clear this is an add-on set for that. I mean, the Overlord, yes, you get an Overlord in the Indomitus, as well as quite a few other HQ, so it is another HQ. But it gives you an Overlord with a war side rather than the tachyon arrow, so always useful. And again, you know, Immortals or Death Marks, you don't have those in the set, so definitely worth having those. Again, you know, you don't have Tomb Blade, so great. And the Flyer, you don't have the Flyer, so I mean, it's a perfect bolt-on for Indomitus as well. One of them as an expansion maybe, but certainly not 2. There are a lot of Necron Indomitus halves and starter sets out there, just out of the Marines. I got 2 of the old start collecting and the Indomitus. Was looking at the sets, but I'd have like 9 overlords. Yeah, that's trouble. I mean, whilst we've got fine cast characters, I think there's a good opportunity to maybe convert some of the overlords into those fine cast characters, so you don't have to buy those silly fine cast miniatures. I mean, hopefully one day we'll get plastic versions, but at least if you've got a lot of overlords, that's what I'd be looking at. You know, making Anrakur the Traveller, using an overlord and just converting it up. Hi Nick, hi Donald, how are you? Well, I hope. So yeah, we are live for the first time in my new house, which is exciting. I've got my setup, which I tried in my old house previously. So I'm using the front or back camera. Basically, I'm using the camera on the phone where I can't see myself. So I've got a mirror set up behind it so I can look into the mirror and make sure that it's all recording okay, which it is, so that's good. And I'm using a brand new light, which if I do this, probably you'll be able to see it. I can't see. Yeah, there you go. Got a ring light, which has a mobile phone section in the middle, but I can't use it for this live stream because I wear glasses and I just get a big ring on my glasses. So I've taken it off and raised it up higher, but it's pretty cool actually, that light. It's got different colour temperatures and different brightness. Okay, so where are we? That's right, Boxing Indomitus is now a gift when you buy a pen somewhere. They're almost less expensive than Lich Guard for a group of 5 of them. It's a nice idea. I have a fine cast Trazyn, which I got really lucky on the sculpt, but that is 1 of 100 chance. Yeah, and the thing is a fine cast as well. I mean, I've got a fine cast Immortals, the Stormlord, and I have trouble with his staff. I mean, when I got it, it was a bit bent. That's fine. I heated it up and bent it back. What I've noticed, if the weather gets hot, every time I get him out, it's bent back again. So I've got to keep putting the hairdryer on and bending it into place. At least it hasn't snapped yet. That's me touching wood, by the way. You can never have enough overlords in your collection. We have Even. It says, yes, I made the stream. Working my Crooked Cryptek. Cool. Yes, it's a very nice miniature, actually. I haven't been a fan of Necrons, which are crouched over like in old age before. There's one character which we have. However, I actually liked it on this miniature. It looked pretty cool. I am going to convert my second one, though. We have 12 from Ja. I'm not quite sure what that means. Oh, 12 overlords, right. Hello there, hello Phoenix, welcome to the live stream. I am hoping I might be able to press the button for real, but I'm gonna press the button anyway, just so you can hear what will happen. Who wants to hear the buttons? Who wants to hear them? We've got 32 people watching. Let's see how many people actually want to hear a button. No one. Oh, one person. Me. Even wants to hear it. Anyone else? 2 command barges with 3 with scythes and many conversions. Me. Necrons. Push the button. Okay, so I'm going to push the button. This button is designed for anyone who becomes an IDICBeer member whilst I'm live streaming. So this is what the button does.
Necrons! Thank you for becoming an IDICBeer member.
And this is the button if someone donates whilst I'm live in a super chat. You'll hear this.
Super
That's my girlfriend's voice on there, which was awesome that she agreed to do that for me. The button has been pressed. Yeah, well, hopefully I'll get to press them loads of times. Just a bit of fun. I had this little idea. I thought, yeah, I might make just the live streams a bit more interesting and just highlight if I get any support at any point. Quick question. Remember the old start set for the Necrons with the barge? Is the second guy with the 32mm base supposed to be a Lord when on foot and a CCM when on the barge? I think I'm just trying to think back now. I can't even remember. You have to remember that a lot of these like sets that have come out over the last X amount of years, I haven't actually bought because they've got just so many models already. I think if I remember rightly, he was supposed to just be in the barge. So you basically you built him in the barge, or you could have him out, or didn't it have two HQs? I actually can't remember. I'm sure somebody else will remember who actually bought one. The 8th edition one with the Warriors, Immortals, Scarabs and the barge. Okay, so if there was no HQ in that set, then it's supposed to just be on the barge. It was always an Overlord, but I used it as a Lord. Yeah, it's supposed to be an Overlord. And an Overlord with a 40mm base. Right. Howdy, joined late, but we re-watched from the start in a bit. Oh, thank you, Simply Warhammer. Appreciate that. It's an Overlord. I've got the instruction book right in front of me. Oh, well, there you go. It's an Overlord. Don't forget to press the like button, everybody. Thank you, Chronomancer Studios. Appreciate that. We have 41 likes, which is pretty cool. We've got 35 people watching at the moment. Saw mention of an exclusive named Necron character available at an event in the southern US. Anyone know any details? Yeah, so I saw that. Obviously, it was actually on the Warhammer community website they shared. So it's basically just a special limited edition character, Lord, not an Overlord, but a Lord. And as far as I'm aware, I think as Games Workshop rolls out events around the world at some point, I think you're going to be able to pick this model up at these tournaments. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I think that's how it's going to work. Just an alternative model, yep, absolutely. Just a fun limited sculpt, basically. A lot of people are saying they don't like it. I thought it was pretty cool. I must admit the head looks slightly odd, but I think you could probably maybe just repose it so it's not quite as round. But I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. In the old codex, the Catacomb Command Barge was a chariot. Yes, oh that's right, I remember that. You could put any character, because I used to put Trazin in there, and the Traveller in there, and just go out before they FAQ'd it, and pop your machine spirit thing off, so you could just zoom out and then take over control of someone's vehicle and then start shooting your opponent's army. But then they FAQ'd it so that you had to be outside the barge to be able to use that ability. But that was good when you could put any character that you wanted in that barge. I liked that. Reminds me, it's almost time again to hunt for an old monolith. Love the redesign, but I have a soft spot for the ring pop crystal. Yeah, I like the old monolith. I've got two of the old ones, one of the new ones. I have another old monolith, which is to be worked on, and I have enough room in my box for another monolith, so I might end up with 4, which would be pretty cool. Okay, let's have a look at the comments. They're coming through thick and fast now. Actually headed to Texas this weekend. I may try to pick one up. Oh, cool, yeah. I did post on my community tab about if anyone is able to pick me one up, that would be great. And obviously, I'll obviously pay for it. I had a few people say that they would try, but no one's actually confirmed that they've got one for me. But you never know. Reminds me, it's almost time. Oh no, I've done that bit. Okay, it's not scrolling down for some reason. And it was a transport in 6th edition. Thanks for your work. I started with Warhammer 40k on December, and your videos helped me to choose the Necrons. Excellent, thank you. I'm very happy with that. Nick, honestly, do you think Necrons are competitive this season? Where do you place them in the meta right now? It's very hard to say because I don't play as much as I would like to, and I certainly don't play against that many different armies. So I've never played against, for example, Custodes. I very rarely play against Dark Eldar, whatever their new name is. So it's very hard for me to judge sometimes. But I'm happy. I'm always happy playing Necrons, regardless of how competitive they are. But there's always a way around the army and the codex. It's just that you tend to have limited builds if you want them to be competitive. I think that's the main issue. Like, it tends to be narrowed right down to get to that competitive list. And Necrons have always sort of been like that. There's never been an army where pretty much like 70% of the units are competitive. It's usually about 20% of the units. And of course it always changes as the meta changes and chapter approved comes out. When is your next battle report and who will it be with? I will be playing Richard again next. No, it was supposed to be next week, but it's my girlfriend's birthday, so that was cancelled. So the week after, so I'll be playing Richard, and I think he's probably playing Orcs again. He'll probably be playing Orcs, I would have thought, until the Thousand Suns Codex comes out. Nick, how to deal with early Codex syndrome and power creep? Just adapt, really. You know, just change the units and the gun options that you're using just to adapt to the armies that you're facing in your sort of gaming group. Power creep. The thing is, the Necron Codex has never been like top tier, or even, it's never really been that high. Apart from back in 3rd edition, it was very powerful, and it had a bit of a spike when we had, I think it was 7th edition, when we had the Decurion. Probably that's when it was its most sort of overall competitiveness, where we could have that 4+ RP roll. But it's never really been that competitive of an army. It's against certain builds, it can be absolutely awesome, but it has obviously its weaknesses. I found, oh, I don't know why it's not scrolling. Let's try this. What secondary objectives do you like to play? Thanks. Hello, Sean. At the moment, I tend to play, which is fairly new for me, but deploy scramblers, although it's got a name change now, and it works slightly different. So you've got 4 quarters, I think it is now, rather than in the 3 deployment zones. But deploy scramblers I have been using. The others I've been choosing depending on the mission and my opponent, but usually it would either be sort of be objective based or table quarter based for one of them, and the other one will be towards my opponent's army, like bring them down or thin their ranks, that type of thing. So usually I'd have an objective based one, something which is to basically destroy my army and get points, and then my third one will be sort of the deploy scramblers. That's how I'm basing them at the moment. One month ago, Necrons were pretty good. Now codexes, and now we're middle of the pack at best, probably. It happens. It will always happen. And as soon as Necrons were first to be released, you know that it was going to be that way. So the FAQ and chapter proved Games Workshop publications are supposed to help counteract codex creep, but Games Workshop plans their months before the codex drops. See the Drakari debacle with the raiders and liquefiers. Yeah, absolutely. And I swear blind that Games Workshop just when they put the new release out, the new edition, is they just hiked all the points up really high, like they did in 8th edition. At the beginning 8th edition, they were extortionate all the units, and I'm sure the ploy is they put them up high so that then they can release a chapter approved and say, hey, we're adjusting things. I buy this book for £25 and we just reduced the price, points, and then another 6 months time they can do it again. I'm sure of it. They can't be that far off for the points. Hello.
Necrons! Thank you for becoming an IDICBeer member.
Snake197, thank you so much. We have a new IDICBeer member at warrior level. Appreciate that. And I get to press the button live for the first time ever. Awesome. Thank you for that. Okay, I don't know why this is not scrolling, this thing. Okay, here we go. We've got to start at the bottom, I think. Just use Gauss Reapers with the warriors. They just absolutely slay, and maybe run Royal Wardens to fall back and shoot the orcs. Yeah, Reapers. I mean, I haven't actually got my Reapers out next. I think Richard and I, when we play in a couple of weeks' time, we are going to play Indomitus set. So Indomitus Necrons versus Indomitus, I think it'll be Space Wolves that Richard will use. But that'll be fun. Looking forward to that. Thanks for the tips, no trouble. The button protocol has been initiated. It has indeed. The button has spoken. So I hope you're enjoying it. We still have 37 people watching, which is awesome. I know we were talking about the Combat Patrol Box, but that was mainly a topic to talk about whilst I was live streaming. Keep looking at my microphone. The camera's there. But obviously, I think we've pretty much covered that box set. And now we're just chatting. So if you have any questions, then feel free to pop them in the comments in the chat box there. We've been streaming for 47 minutes. I usually do about an hour, so we'll probably have about 10 minutes of questions. If we run out of questions, then I'll end early. So one benefit of becoming a member is you get to have the IDICBeer emojis, which you can use whilst live streaming. At the moment, I have, I think, 10. But the more members I get, the more emojis I unlock. And I actually need to redo these because I wear glasses now and all of those emojis do not have glasses. Hey Nick, a question. What Necron list do you take against Imperial Knights? Okay, well I've played Imperial Knights but only in 8th edition, and I've taken a fun list where I had big Necrons. So I had a Pylon, Tesseract Vault, and the Seraptic, and I played Nick from Old Average Bricked Gaming, and we had a fun game. I did lose that, but that was down to the fact that I didn't get first turn. So I think we're going to use Apocalypse rules next time we play. So it'll be like whoever goes first, the units which are destroyed don't come off until that person's had their first go. It makes much more sense with those type of big units. We have the Hobby Corner. Hello, he says Necrons, which is the right thing to say when you join my live stream. And then the door's opening. Hello? Hello? You can put the light on, yeah. How you doing? Hungry, she's getting food from the kitchen. I have lost total train of thought. What was I talking about? I do not know. I've literally forgotten. Forgotten. Someone remind me in the chat, please. Hope you're doing well. Yes, I am doing well, Hobby Corner. Thank you very much. I hope you are too. Asking you to compose Combat Patrol for Necrons. What units will you pick for the box? Now that's an interesting question. Oh, I remember what I was talking about now. At last, it's come back to you. Confirmed by King. Right, I was talking about against Imperial Knights. Yes, that's it. So I was doing some tournament practice. I was going to tournament and I was being me, and I was going with a full assault list. So close combat units only, no guns. And I invited Nick from Old Average Brits Gaming to come over and playtest my combat orientated list against his Imperial Knights. And I got absolutely hammered. Not surprising. I flipped my list around and I pulled out of that combat orientated list for the tournament. I've got a whole playlist on that experience of going to a tournament with this close combat list, and then the flip and the turn to the list that I actually took. And I did pretty well. I think I won 3 out of 5 games in that tournament. But yes, it was Knights versus Necron, so what would I take? It is a tough one. I think I would... I don't tend to tailor a list for a particular army. I would tailor a list to win the mission. That's the key thing. Just taking objective secure, I think, is one of... Ho-ho!
Super chat.
Thanks for donating.
Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate that. Is there any recommendations for Hyperphase Blades painting? Quite hard as a newbie, I feel. Okay, you might actually see this coming up in my painting tutorial that I'm making for my Doomstalkers, where I'm going to be showing you a form of blending, but an easy way to blend stuff, which would work quite well on Hyperphase swords. You could obviously just use the Tesseract glow paint, paint some white, and then just put the paint over, and it gives a pretty cool effect. I've also got, I don't know if you've seen it or not, a how to paint power swords tutorial, which is a nice, easy to do effect. It gives you like sort of lightning going along the sword. It looks pretty cool, might be worth checking out. That's in the Back to Basics series of videos as well. Who else thinks that the Hexmark Destroyers is now a useful addition? I haven't played them yet, but I am going to be playing them. I want to try them out. I think they would be certainly fun anyway. Just use the Seraptic against Knight. I did have the Seraptic against the Knight, and yeah, I mean, the Seraptic's been nerfed quite a bit now, hasn't it? But it's still pretty decent. Thank you, looking forward to the video on your tutorial as well. Excellent, thank you. Trying to destroy knights by sheer firepower is not smart. You could outplay them at objectives and make tactical decisions. Maybe run 3 Doomstalkers for good measure as well. Yeah, absolutely. I think you do. That's the way to play. You've got to play the mission. And if you take objective secure for yourself and just get on those objectives, take the right secondary objectives. If you can outscore on a primary, get a good amount of secondary, then you've got a good chance as anyone. Even if your whole army gets destroyed, you still can win the game, which is the great thing about the current edition. I made it. Hello Stephen, who took my dice, and a big happy birthday to you. I think it was a couple of days ago, but yeah, congratulations, I believe. I won't say it. The big 4-3. Oh, I said it. I played a hex mark against Space Marines and it was pretty useless. Haha. Good fun though, and looks awesome. Yeah, you've got to have the right targets, haven't you, for that. I suppose potentially the sort of orcs might be quite good against orcs, maybe. Although that toughness 5 coming in, interesting one. Do we know how many points these orcs that are going to be toughness 5 are going to be? Surely they're not going to be the same amount. What units you pick for Combat Patrol, Nick? Oh yes, we were talking about that. It wouldn't be too much different from this, to be fair. I think they've made a good decision. I'd probably take out the Doom Scythe and I'd put in a Doomsday Arc, stroke Ghost Arc. I mean, the Tomb Blades, I would say Wraiths, but the fact that Wraiths have been in quite a few other boxes, I think Tomb Blades are probably a good choice. And the fact that everyone's got Warriors now, Immortals and Death Marks, again, it's a good choice. And you can't go wrong with an Overlord, really. So I'm happy with it. I think it's a good choice. Chilling Wargamers. Hey, beautiful people. Hope you are well. Thank you, Spud. We are very well. Hexmark just needs to shoot single wound models, really. Yeah, anything that's more than one wound, you're wasting your bullets, aren't you? Against Knights, what about a lot of Warriors and Scarabs and the Catan, preferably a Nightbringer? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the great thing about this edition. It isn't really about killing stuff. You know, you can. It's about putting up a bit of a fight and distracting your opponent whilst you're doing what you need to do, which is score points. And yeah, I mean, in the old days, you know, you just kill stuff and that gets you all of your points. And okay, you could take secondary objectives, which involves killing stuff, but you select those specifically to what your army can kill from your opponent's army when you look at it across the table. So you've got to be killing the right stuff. So sometimes you'll so for example, when I played Richard, he had quite a few of the vehicles with just the right amount of wounds on for me to kill and get the points. So I selected that secondary objective, can't remember what it's called, sorry, and then I basically just blasted everything which points on. I ignored those horrible disasters, and I went for the stuff like the copters, which I knew I was scoring points, not only killing something, but I was scoring points. And I think it's all about getting points. Oh man, do I love those Scorpex. I've seen Scorpec Destroyers slaying Knights in a single turn. I've played Scorpec Destroyers a couple of times and I've done nothing so far. The first game, I basically had a bit of an assault list, but I was playing the mission and my Scorpex just went out to the middle objective and they just sat there the whole game and my buddy ignored them. I could have come off the objective and sort of got into assaults, but I was scoring points and I just sat them there. I won the game and they did nothing. Then the second time I played them, I put them into assault because I really wanted to see what they were doing. They were on an objective and I had an opportunity, so I assaulted and my dice was so bad I did 0. I did nothing. The whole unit, 6 Scorpec Destroyers, and my dice rolls just let me down. So I will be getting them out again and playing them because I know they can do a lot of damage and they're pretty survivable as well. You've got the stratagem on there as well to help them survive. Lucky Luca says, hey Nick, do you think the Doomsday Arc is still good compared to the Doomstalker? Absolutely, and now we've got a points reduction on it. I think we'll see a lot more Doomsday Arcs, which is typical because I'm just about to finish painting my Doomstalkers, ready to play, and I'll be wanting to play Doomsday Arcs. But no, I think it's good to have 2 decent, like anti-tank, anti-monstrous creature units to choose from because we've been so limited for a long time, just that Doomsday arc. So it's nice to have the choices, and now that it's come down slightly in chapter approved, I think that's fantastic. Nick, take my word for it. A 6-man unit and a plasma sight can wreak havoc on the board. Thank you. I did have a plasma sight with it as well, and I look forward to seeing it. It's going to be good. I'm about to convert a Scorpec Lord with a Wraith Tail to make an Ophidian Lord. What do you think of that? I think that is very cool. I like that. I already have a Locust Destroyer ready to make a Locust Destroyer Lord out of it. I've been keeping my beady eyes on other people's conversions, getting a few ideas. But yeah, I actually like that. As you know, I'm a fan of Wraiths anyway. To have a Scorpic Lord with a Wraith Tail, and my guinea pig is eating his house. That's what that noise is. Gizmo, what are you doing? Okay, so we are now running at 61 minutes, so 1 hour. So I think we are going to wrap it up there. It's been a fantastic stream. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. We still have 39 people watching, which is just awesome. Really, really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.